Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today we're going on a really fascinating biological journey. We're going to look at how aerobic exercise actually physically builds your memory. Think about it. We are literally going to treat the brain exactly like a muscle.
All right, so let's just dive right in with a question that kind of reframes everything we thought we knew about lacing up our running shoes. What if the secret to better memory was just a brisk walk away? I mean, for decades, right, we've been told to exercise for our waistlines or maybe for our heart health, but what if the absolute most powerful impact of a daily jog or a fast-paced walk isn't happening in your body at all, but rather right between your ears?
Section 1. Beyond the physical benefits. We are uncovering a hidden biological superpower. Now, there's this stark contrast between what we assume a workout does for our physical body versus the really profound changes happening inside our minds. We all know the traditional view, right? Exercise strengthens the heart, expands the lungs, builds up the legs, and yeah, that's totally true. But the hidden superpower here? Aerobic exercise actually increases your brain volume and actively protects your memory. It literally, physically alters the architecture of your brain. It's wild.
Section 2. Growing the hippocampus. Let's look at some structural brain growth.
Okay, before we get into the hard data, we really need to understand what the hippocampus is. Think of it as essentially the command center for your memory and learning. So if you want to remember where you parked your car, or learn a new language, or just recall a cherished childhood memory, you rely entirely on the hippocampus. The catch is, as we age, this vital command center naturally tends to shrink, and that directly contributes to the forgetfulness we so often associate with getting older. So, the crucial point we need to focus on is this striking number, 2%. Researchers from Harvard Health found that just 3 days a week of moderate-intensity aerobic exercise actually boosts the size of your brain's memory center by 2%. 2%. Your brain is literally growing larger just because you decided to go for a run or a brisk walk. How cool is that? And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why that 2% matters so much. That physical growth actively reverses the clock. It effectively offsets up to 2 entire years of age-related cognitive decline. Basically, by dedicating just a few days a week to moderate cardio, you're buying back a year or 2 of youthful brain structure. If you ask me, that is an absolutely incredible return on investment for your mind. So you might be wondering, how exactly does this happen? Well, just like lifting weights builds your biceps, aerobic activity acts kind of like a fertilizer for your brain. It promotes the growth of completely new neural cells. Plus, it drastically lowers the risk of high blood pressure, which means you're increasing healthy blood flow right to the brain, delivering all that vital oxygen and nutrients. And finally, it increases the brain's ability to form new neural connections as you learn. It's essentially remodeling the network inside your head to make it faster and way more efficient.
Moving on to Section 3, the chemical brain boost. Let's talk about the runner's high.
We so often hear about the runner's high, right? But there is this fascinating dual chemistry behind it. A good run immediately floods your bloodstream with endorphins, which elevate your mood, boost your energy, and, remarkably, sharpen your concentration. But at the exact same time, it releases endocannabinoids. These are biochemical substances that create a really profound sense of calm and actually reduce physical stress. So you're getting this dual-action mental upgrade. You've got sharp, focused concentration paired directly with deep, biochemical calm. At the same time, this chemical shift is helping to regulate your body's fight-or-flight response. Running keeps damaging stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol in check. And this is key, because a brain overwhelmed by stress and cortisol has a really difficult time forming short-term memories. By running, you are essentially clearing the chemical static out of your mind so your memory can operate efficiently. And you know what's great? The results of this chemical shift are pretty much immediate. Studies looking at healthy but inactive middle-aged adults who simply started walking briskly showed massive improvements. This rush of neurotransmitters translates directly into sharper auditory and visual attention. It leads to better working memory, meaning you can hold and manipulate information in your head much more easily. It even improves verbal fluency and translates into a faster overall mental processing speed.
Okay, Section 4, sleep, stress, and memory, the vital night pathway.
Let's trace the sequence and see exactly how this builds biologically, because it's just a beautiful chain reaction. Step 1, you engage in aerobic exercise during the day. Step 2, this exertion increases what sleep scientists call sleep pressure. Basically, it primes your body to crave rest.
Step 3, that pressure forces you into a much higher quality, deeper sleep at night. And finally, step 4, that deep sleep is the exact physiological state where memory consolidation actually happens.
So, if you ever notice yourself forgetting things, or maybe just feeling a bit foggy, remember this mechanism. Deep sleep, which again is actively stimulated by daytime cardio, is when your brain takes all the fleeting events of the day and locks them into your long-term memory. Your brain is essentially filing away the information you've learned. So aerobic exercise doesn't just help you learn while you're awake, it ensures you actually retain it while you sleep.
Which brings us to Section 5, your aerobic action plan. Reaping the rewards.
Let's start this section with a number that should honestly motivate all of us. 50%. The data from Harvard Health shows that adults age 65 and older, specifically those without a genetic predisposition to Alzheimer's, who exercise 4 times a week, literally cut their risk of developing dementia by half, compared to those who remain sedentary. I mean, half! That is a staggering reduction in cognitive decline purely from regular aerobic movement.
And the absolute best news here is how accessible this all is. You do not have to go run ultramarathons or push yourself to total exhaustion to see these brain changes. Studies prove that simply walking briskly for 45 minutes, 5 times a week, is incredibly effective for improving your attention and your working memory. And hey, if you're short on time, WebMD notes that even a 10-minute daily jog is enough to start protecting your heart and your mind.
According to the official Physical Activity Guidelines for Americans, your weekly baseline target to maintain this cognitive fitness is beautifully straightforward. You can either aim for 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity, like that brisk walking we just talked about, spread across your week. Or, if you prefer to push the pace a bit, you only need 75 minutes of vigorous activity, like jogging or swimming laps. It's really just a tiny slice of your week dedicated to preserving your memory for a lifetime.
Ultimately, treating your brain like a muscle and moving your body today is a profound investment in your cognitive longevity. The science is absolutely clear on this. Exercise fertilizes your brain cells, it balances your mood, it deepens the sleep that locks in your learning, and it actively grows your memory center. Which leaves us with one final, inspiring thought. Every step is a memory saved. So what will you remember tomorrow by investing in your mind today? Where will your next walk take your memory? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly, highly encourage you, go lace up those shoes.